Before we get started, as usual, I would love for you to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Remember, the things we talk about on this channel are geared towards ladies, but men are more than welcome to stay because you may hear something that you can share with your daughter or sister, cousin, or a female in your life. In our last videos, we talked about the clean canvas, and we're still on the clean canvas. But last video, we talked about washing, and we got a little deep with it. And I don't think I'm going to get that deep with it this time. I think you all got the picture. So we washed. Remember, in the previous video, we talked about the proper way to dry your skin, pat your skin, not drag the towel over the body. This video, we're going to look at the face. Remember in the last video I told you when you wash your face, you use what? Clean hands. We're still talking about clean hands. Clean hands are very important. Remember in the last video we talked about putting the cleanser in your hands and lathering it up. You want it to emulsify. Wash in a circular motion. We talked about that in the last video. Well, in this video, you have washed your face. Now we're going to take the clean towel, not the towel you use to dry your body, a clean towel or paper towel, and pat your face dry. And once you have patted your face dry, remember you need to clean your ears because you washed them. Take the towel, clean behind, clean in the ears. Now you have dried your skin. We're going to moisturize our skin first before we moisturize the rest of the body. Okay? So the next thing you're going to do, after you have dried, you have patted your skin dry, if you use a toner, the purpose of a toner is to tone the skin. That's why it's called a toner. The toner, when you put it on a cotton ball or a cotton square, it helps to remove dirt, oil, residue, excess makeup that didn't come off when you washed your face. It helps to remove those things. So you use your cotton ball or your cotton square and you use it all around your face and your neck. Okay? Because you wash your face twice, so you're under the assumption that you're getting it all off, but sometimes it doesn't all come off, especially if you wear a full face of makeup. Okay? So you use your toner all over your face and your neck. After you've used your toner, let that dry for a couple of seconds. Now you need to have all of your skincare items laid out on the cabinet. Everything you're going to put on your face and your neck and your chest. Okay? So you've used your toner. I like to go in next with a rose water spritz. Rose water spritz. Rose water acts as an astringent and just spritz my face and my neck. Let that sit there for a second. The next thing I put on my skin is a serum. Now, a serum typically is clear. It looks like water in a bottle and it has a dropper, but it's not as liquidy as water, but it looks like water. So what I would do is put a couple of drops in my hand and then I'm going to pat it. I'm not dragging the skin. You're going to pat it all over and in and let that sit there. Okay? The next thing I typically like to do with my face is go in with what other people would use as a moisturizer. Now, I've stopped using traditional moisturizers you buy out of the store, especially the ones with sunscreen, because I've noticed with my brown skin, anything with a sunscreen leaves a white cast. So if the sunscreens you purchase from the store work for your skin, keep using it. But for my skin, it just didn't do well. So I've started using natural things like coconut oil, shea butter, castor oil on my skin. So here, I've done the rose water spritz. I've done the serum. I would go in now with either coconut oil, castor oil, and or shea butter. So with that, it all depends on the temperature, how I want my skin to look. So like today, I did castor oil, and then I went in with shea butter all over. Now, shea butter is thick, coconut oil is thin and slippery, but it all depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you have oily skin, I would not use shea butter. I have a combination skin. If you have dry skin, shea butter is good. If you have oily skin, I wouldn't use shea butter. I would use coconut oil or jojoba oil. Jojoba oil is very close to the oil, the sebum that skin naturally produces. So if you start to try these new oils and serums on your skin, do a patch test on the back of your hand somewhere to make sure it does not irritate your skin. Okay? So you're going to go in with whatever moisturizer you're going to use. Once you do that, leave your face alone. Put some moisturizer on your ears. Yeah, so your ears won't look ashy. Let your face dry. Let it just sit there. Let your skin absorb all of the nutrients, all the moisture that you've put on your skin. And while that's sitting there, let's go on down. And we need to moisturize. Now, the same things you put on your face, you need to be applying to your neck. And if it does not irritate the skin on your chest, you need to be putting it there. But if it irritates the skin on your neck, then use your lotion. Remember, the skin on different parts of your body can have different sensitivity. Okay? So now, whatever lotion that you prefer, lotion, oil, cream, start to lotion from here on down, all the way down to your feet. That includes places in the back that you can reach. That means your butt. Yeah, lotion your butt. Because you don't want to apply a fragrance to dry skin. Why? Because fragrances are going to be either a alcohol base or an oil base. Alcohol base is those fragrances are going to dissipate. The smell will dissipate quicker than an oil base. If you apply a fragrance to your skin, especially here in this area, which when I apply certain fragrances here, I'll have an irritation. So I cannot apply some things here. Now, some things I can apply all over. But if it's a new fragrance, do a patch test. Just like you did with the new products for your face, do a patch test to make sure it doesn't break you out. If it breaks out your skin in a certain area, don't apply it in that area. Put it elsewhere. Okay? So we've moisturized our body. Now you can apply your fragrance before you put on your garments. Applying your fragrance, whether it's a spray or an oil, in your pulse points. Remember, we talked about points, pulse points. Here, here, inside, here, behind your knees, at the base of your back, and on top of the foot where you have a pulse. You have a pulse on the top of your foot. Okay? If you've ever been in the hospital, have you ever seen a nurse or a doctor touch the top of your foot? Kind of like where that bone is. You have a pulse right there. That's what I'm talking about. So if you have an area that's really sensitive and you can't put it there, just skip it. Now, here's a little trick. You got the alcohol base and the oil based fragrances. I like oil based fragrances. But here's a trick. Your hair. Remember in the first video I told you, even if you have long hair and you go somewhere like a barbecue or you do the grilling and the smoke in your hair, wind gets in your hair and it takes that scent. It's the same thing with a fragrance. You can take that spray bottle, spray it in the air, and let that scent fall down on you. You've put it in your pulse point, but now you can put it in your hair. And when the wind gets in your hair, you smell it. You don't need to have long hair because the wind will make any hair smell. And you want it to smell what? Good. Take that. It's going to land here and it's going to land down. Okay? What we want to avoid doing is applying fragrance to the garment because your garments have been dyed. Alcohol sprayed directly on the clothes over time will cause discoloration. Okay? So I know you want to put your clothes on and spray the clothes and spray the clothes and spray the clothes. That's not the proper way to apply it. You need to apply it to your skin. You can spritz above and let it fall down on you. Okay? So now we have lotioned, moisturized. We've applied a fragrance. We can go back to the face now because we've moisturized our face. It's ready. Take a clean towel or a paper towel and pat any areas that look excessively oily. On my skin, it would be the T-zone that looks oily. Sometimes right here, but most of the time it's here. And just pat that area. I don't wear a full face of makeup anymore. I'm 53. In college, I wore a full face of makeup every day. I don't anymore. I just make sure my eyebrows are together, a little mascara, and whatever lip tint. That's all. If you're going to wear a full face of makeup, that is the foundation, the concealer, and the powder, remember, you don't have to be old to have fine lines and wrinkles. And when you apply that makeup, sometimes, especially here and here and up here, you see a little bit up here on me, but when you apply that makeup, it will settle in those areas and accentuate the fine lines and wrinkles. The things you don't want to see. So be mindful of that when you're applying your makeup. When you apply your makeup, be mindful also of the seasons and the occasion. Typically, in the spring and summer, you want to lighten your colors that you apply to your face. Less dark around the eyes, and your lip color tends to be a little lighter. In the fall and the winter, it's a little darker. And your makeup should be appropriate for the occasion that you're attending. What do I mean by that? If you're going to a festival, I live in Louisiana, we have festivals year around, hundreds of them. If you're going to an outdoor festival and you wear a full face of makeup and you're outside in the heat, that's not applying the makeup for the occasion. Now you can wear makeup, but you want to look fresh and clean, not overly made to be outside at a barbecue or at a festival or at a football game, maybe a basketball, baseball game. Here in the South, when we go to football games at an HBCU, oh yeah, sometimes we like to be a little extra. There's nothing wrong with being a little extra. I love being extra. But you need to be appropriate. Okay? You can be extra, but be appropriate for the occasion. Now, when you go to after 5 events, your makeup should be what? Appropriate for the occasion, just as your attire should be appropriate for the occasion. Your makeup may be a little heavier because it's an after 5 occasion. Your lip color, instead of it being a sheer neutral color, it may be a little heavier, a little darker and richer, maybe a red lip or a burgundy lip. It just depends on the occasion because you always want to be appropriate. Okay? Just as you want to be appropriate with your attire, so you want to be appropriate with your makeup and your hair and your accessories. So we've talked about quite a bit from the last videos until today. And if there's anything that I've forgotten, something you want to add, your opinion, something you do that I don't do, put it in the comments. We'll talk about it. And remember to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. And until I see you next time, remember, all things etiquette.